Okay, so everyone has a secret self, right? That part of you that's kind of tucked away. You don't show it to friends or lovers, maybe not even your family sometimes.
Right. We all sort of hide who we really are, what we actually want, put up a convenient facade.
Exactly. And it's strange, but in this almost universal way, that kind of quiet deception, it often keeps this thin veneer of peace going in the world.
It's a really interesting thought, isn't it? That stability, whether it's personal or, geopolitical, might actually hang on hiding things, not just big secrets, but the everyday stuff.
Yeah, the little things that let us keep interacting. So let's really dig into this today. We're doing a deep dive into a world where that thin veneer of peace is stretched like to its absolute limit.
Okay.
We're looking at Tatsuya Endo's fantastic manga, Spy X Family Volume 1.
Great choice.
Our mission, basically, is to explore this completely wild setup. A master spy, a deadly assassin, and a telepathic kid, all pretending to be a family for a supercritical mission.
It's such a hooky premise.
Totally. We're going to look at how they handle all the lies, how they try to seem normal, and maybe find some surprising ideas about identity, trust, and, well, what family even means when it's built like this.
And we're pulling everything straight from this first volume. It lays out this seemingly simple idea that just spirals into really complex, often hilarious, but always insightful questions about connection, especially under these unusual circumstances.
Right, so the backdrop, you know the drill. It's like this Cold War vibe between two nations, Westalis and Ostania.
Mm-hmm. Constant tension.
Yeah, information warfare. Everything's happening under the surface. And the spark that lights the fuse for our story, a Westalis diplomat gets killed in Ostania.
Assassinated, yeah.
Yeah.
Suspected it was the East's far right causing trouble.
So the stakes just shoot up for Westalis. They absolutely need to figure out what Ostania's planning.
And what do? They send in their absolute best guy,
Yeah.
Westalis' top agent,
Yeah.
a legend.
Yeah.
Exactly. Codename Twilight. Known for having 100 different faces, can survive anything. But what's really fascinating is his motive. He wants a better world.
Right. Peace.
Yeah, peace. Even if it means completely giving up his own identity. He sacrificed everything, literally himself, for this ideal.
It's almost tragic, that level of commitment.
That's
and
right.
it all leads to his most vital mission yet, Operation Strix.
Mm-hmm.
The target is this guy, Donovan Desmond, super reclusive, shadowy figure, seen as a huge threat to the truce between East and West.
And he basically doesn't exist in public. The only time he shows up is at these very exclusive high society events at his son's fancy private school,
Eden Academy.
Eden Academy, which creates the central problem, right? How does the world's best spy, a guy built for isolation and secrecy, get anywhere near someone who only goes to, like, parent-teacher nights?
It's absurd, and the answer is just as absurd. Twilight has to get married and adopt a child.
Yep. Enroll a kid in Eden Academy, that's his way in. It forces him into this incredibly domestic role. It's brilliant.
So Twilight drops all his other identities and becomes Lloyd Forger, a psychiatrist. Mild-mannered,
This is a regular guy.
supposedly. But even moving into this furnished house, his spy brain is firing on all cylinders. He clocks it immediately. It's bugged. No easy escape routes.
Constant danger. Even normal life is just another mission zone for him.
His first step, find a kid. Needs to be smart enough for Eden, able to read and write.
And you see his spy instincts here, right?
Yeah.
He'd prefer to do it solo. Minimize variables, trust nobody. That's his default.
But he can't. He needs the kid. It's probably the first big crack in his whole lone wolf approach.
So he goes to an orphanage.
And meets Anya. Looks about 4, maybe 5. But then she just casually finishes this adult-level crossword puzzle. Lloyd sees this stunning intellect.
But we know, and you the listener know, Anya's secret. She's
Yeah.
telepathic.
Yeah. An accident, apparently. Some experiment by a shady organization. And she hides it from Lloyd.
Which is fantastic storytelling because we get to hear her parents' real thoughts, often violent or mission-focused through her. It creates this amazing contrast.
And her background is totally mysterious. No birth records, bounced around foster homes, returned 4 times.
As the orphanage director says, the perfect kid for you, Twilight.
Huh. But Lloyd's first go at parenting. It's a disaster. He finds kids infuriating, they're crying, powerless. He literally needs a manual.
A manual that preaches about trust. The one thing a spy is trained not to do.
Right. And Anya, she mostly just wants to play spy games, and crucially, she's reading Lloyd's mind for answers, giving us these constant, hilarious glimpses into his stressed-out spy brain.
So he's got the kid, sort of, But the family's not complete. He still needs a wife for the cover story.
Enter your Briar. She's 27, works at City Hall. Seems normal enough.
But she's got her own pressures. Her coworkers are always nagging her about being single. Apparently, being a 30-year-old bachelorette is suspicious these days.
Especially with all the spy paranoia. She's genuinely worried someone will report her just for being single.
Which makes her vulnerable and plays right into Lloyd's needs. But her normal persona, it's hiding something huge. She's actually the Thorn Princess.
A lethal assassin.
Highly skilled, been doing dirty work, as the manga puts it, since she was a kid. Trained by her employer. Hilariously, she's terrible at most domestic stuff, except cleaning.
Which kind of hints at her real profession, if you think about it. Discipline, tidiness.
Exactly, and her backstory is quite sad, actually. Her parents died young. She sees her assassination work as this terrible act of self-sacrifice she did to provide for her younger brother, Yuri.
So yours feeling the heat, needs a partner to look normal, avoid suspicion. And who does she run into?
Lloyd Forger. Needing a wife, conveniently with a kid already sorted.
At a tailor shop, no less, the one that does the Eden Academy uniforms. It's almost too perfect.
And you're desperate to avoid trouble. Maybe a promotion that would put her more in the spotlight. She just agrees. Pose as Lloyd's wife for the interview.
Even though her inner monologue is basically screaming that marriage itself is suspicious, it's brilliant. Her life is just as deceptive as Lloyd's.
Lloyd, being Lloyd, pulls some strings, gets the marriage certificate forged, backdated a year. Boom.
The Forger family. Assembled. A spy father, an assassin mother, a telepath daughter, all under one roof. Each hiding everything from the others.
Each with something to gain from this sham arrangement, as the book calls it.
And this is where it really gets good, right? The tension just skyrockets. These three masters of hiding, trying to act normal.
Lloyd's constantly assessing threats, escape routes. Even when Anya's just playing, his need for control is completely undone by having a kid around.
It's hilarious. And Anya's telepathy, it's not just a gimmick.
Not at all. It lets us, the audience, hear Lloyd and Yor's real thoughts. The violent ones, the mission-obsessed ones.
Contrasted with their attempts at polite conversation, it really shows that thin veneer of peace isn't just global, it's right there in their living room. Anya learns their secrets, but keeps it to herself.
And Yor. She wants to be normal, but those assassin instincts, they keep bubbling up.
Oh, yeah. Like casually thinking about killing her annoying coworkers.
Or, setting a cow flying through the air, with apparently minimal effort during that incident later on. It's terrifying, but also incredibly funny. Her real self just bursts out.
So the biggest hurdle, the key to Operation Strix, the Eden Academy interview.
Right. Lloyd tries to prep them, creates these shared experiences, takes them on fancy outings, opera, museums, restaurants.
Trying to cram in cultural knowledge for the upper crust?
Yeah, and you feel his desperation. He actually thinks, this is the first time I've felt truly hopeless. He sees himself relying on amateurs.
And the actual interview prep? Predictably a total mess. Lloyd drills them on questions.
But Anya, hearing Lloyd's spy thoughts, gives these wildly inappropriate answers. Like, what do you do if a friend does something bad?
Jump him and make him eat pavement.
Exactly. It shows how clueless Lloyd is about the normal world he's trying to fake his way into, and how much Anya picks up from him. They're so far from the elegance Eden demands.
Then the big day arrives. The interview at Eden Academy. This place is all about tradition, elegance.
Stuffy. Presided over by Headmaster Henderson, who seems like the ultimate gatekeeper of propriety.
And naturally, chaos happens before they even walk in the door. This whole ordeal with an escaped cow.
Right. And Europe just instinctively handles it, subdues the cow, sends it flying, then tries to cover with some awkward excuse about yoga and pressure points.
It's pure physical comedy, but it shows her raw power again.
Ugh.
And Lloyd, he's got spare clothes ready. Ever the prepared spy. Gotta maintain appearances.
So they finally get inside. The interviewers, especially this one guy, Goodfellow, are just nasty, asking questions meant to trip them up, insult them.
Lloyd and Yor stick to the script, their fake meeting story at the tailor shop. Lloyd calls Yor a kindred spirit. Yor says Lloyd's wonderful, good with children.
And Anya's answers are still filtered through her weird reality. She mentions wanting to expose the plans of the organization or practicing running stuff over a jungle. Little fragments of truth slip out.
Then comes the killer question, aimed right at Anya. Who do you like better, your old mommy or your new mommy?
Oof. Designed to break them. Hit that core insecurity.
But it backfires. When Goodfellow pushes too hard, insults kids, insults the school's ideals, Twilight snaps.
Yeah, he just loses it. Not strategically. He gives this incredibly passionate defense of Anya, of his quote-unquote family. Says he won't let them disgrace Eden's name.
It's not an act, it's real. Genuine protectiveness. The spy drops the mask, not for the mission, but for the kid.
That's the moment, isn't it? The first real sign that his abandoned identity for peace mantra might have a flaw. He cares.
And it has an impact. They don't get in immediately, no. But Henderson, the headmaster, sees something in Lloyd's outburst. He calls it elegance.
True elegance, yeah. Not just surface manners. So he puts them on the waiting list, says they still got a chance. It's a small win,
Yeah.
but huge in terms of showing those connections forming under all the lies.
Wow, what a ride, just in Volume 1. We've seen this master spy, this deadly assassin, this mind-reading kid thrown together in the most bizarre high-stakes situation.
And navigating that Eden interview,
Mm-hmm.
it just perfectly captures the struggle, right? Trying to keep up the act, but also, almost by accident, starting to actually connect. It's both funny and genuinely heartwarming.
And that idea we started with, the thin veneer of peace. It applies so perfectly to the Forger house itself. Their secrets are vital for their own peace, for the mission.
But the moments that really define them are when the masks slip, when those glimpses of real care, real personality break through all the deception.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What does it actually mean to be a family when the whole thing is built on lies?
Yeah, how do these real moments, this genuine affection, manage to grow out of something so completely artificial? And maybe, what does that say about us, about humanity, that real bonds can form, even thrive, in the most constructed, most deceptive circumstances? Makes you